Pistons would want a tremendous return for Alex Burks. This was an interesting article. I just came from NBA.com, I believe, or something, or AHN Fire Digital. So I don't know. Saw it on there, read it. One of the quotes, one of the parts of the article that I didn't agree with, though, they said that the Pistons would be trying to trade Alec Burks because he doesn't fit the timeline because of his age. But Alec Burks, I believe, is only like 31 years old. Do you think he fits the timeline for the Detroit Pistons, or do you think they should try to move him?
The timeline word is just thrown out so casually by us fans, I think. But we said it last week when we were talking about Burks. Like, we want him to teach Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey how to be a foul baiter.
Yep.
Like, I think he's such a good veteran to keep. And, like, the timeline thing, yes, he fits the timeline. I think he can be your leader off the bench. I read a report. Now, I don't know if this is like breaking news or anything. I got it off a Hoops Hype that the Pistons are expected to pick up his option. That's how much the Pistons like Alec Burks. And they're looking to get at least a first round pick for Burks, which if they get a first round pick for Burks, that's money for them. Like, stock up on draft capital. But I don't think they're going to get a first round pick for Burks. I think the Pistons really value Bojan and Burks on this basketball team.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick about the timeline. Like, I mean, the Pistons aren't winning anything seriously for the next 2 years. They're going to be hopefully competing for the playoffs next year and the following year. Alex Burks and Bojan fit that part of the timeline. I'm not saying he'll be here for 5 years, but the earlier parts of the timeline, he's going to help these guys learn how to win. He's going to help, Ivy and Cade and Sadiq, get to the foul line, teach them how he does that, teach them some of that veteran savviness with the ball in their hands. Like, that's what he's there to do. So I think he fits the timeline perfectly. I mean, again, I don't expect him to be here for a super long time, but for the next 2 seasons playing at the level he's playing at, he could do that. And I agree with the Pistons. They should try to get a tremendous return on Alex Burke because he's one of the best bench players in the NBA. He's literally one of the most valuable players in the NBA because everybody needs a role player like him, whether, he can spot start, come off the bench. He can be your 6 man. He can play point guard off the ball. He could fill in at the 3. Like, he can bring the ball up. Like, there's a lot to love about this guy. So yeah, I agree. If it's not a tremendous return, you're not getting Alec Burke from the Detroit Pistons.
No, I thought it was interesting that the Pistons are going to eat that $10.5 million cap. Like, that's how much they like Alec Burks as a player. And I think Casey loves Alec Burks too. He's just kind of like a calm veteran that can get you buckets. And I think that's what you need off the bench. Like, I saw today that the Pistons are 4th in the league in bench points per game. They get you around 40 points a game off the bench. And Alec Burks is a big reason why.
He and $10.5 million is not bad for Alex Burke, right? Like, that's a pretty fair contract for what he does.
I mean, for what he offers, yeah. I mean, like, that's usually kind of like what you get. Like, I don't want to put him in like 6th man of the year, but he could definitely win it if he wanted to. If he just he could get you 15 a night easily if he was just hunting his shots.
Yeah, you put him on a team like Milwaukee, man, he would be in consideration. I think he's still going to be in the conversation for that award as the season progresses, but I don't expect him to be, a finalist for it. But I do think he'll get mentioned, and it's really all you can ask for Alec Burke. But like I said, if it's not a tremendous return, don't expect to get Alec Burke on your team.